The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more into the breach do we go, dear friends. As always, we like to meet at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
And what do we have going on today? We're off 1 point. S&P cash. We were down about 6 at one point. Not a lot of action. Of course, Janet Yellen came out and dropped the chalupa in the punch bowl, saying that we are going to get 3 rate hikes, that March is ideal, and conditions are perfect for one, that we will have rate hikes faster, not slower than the market will expect over the next couple of years. So you probably expect kind of a big movement on it and not really getting a lot of reaction, either positive or negative, nor are we getting a lot of volume. The market kind of moved up right after the announcements. The one-liners started to come out. They seemed rather hawkish. The market moved down for a little bit. Then it didn't do much. Volume 2.1 billion shares. Now, what I suspect is today is the last day of fund buying. So what we will see is Monday and Tuesday as a much better indication of what's going on. My thought would be that maybe no one wants this market pulling back anymore until after the close tonight. So, you know, if you got a lot of people, got a little money on the side there, last day of fund buying, no way that the suckers get out at a good price. They have to get in at the high price. So I'm kind of thinking maybe that's about it. Without the volume, there's not really either or up or down. There's not really a good clue that we get today. And I suspect that after the weekend, after everybody starts reading through the speech, they're going to go, okay, interest rates are headed higher. We're going to get 3 rate hikes this year, that they basically have hit their objective for employment, that they really can't do anything more than to do that they can do for that. It's all up to Congress now and the president, and we're going to slowly exit out of the market over the next couple of years. But 3 hikes this year, and they are leaning toward more rate hikes the year after. So I don't know really what she means about that, but what can you say? Anyway, we're off a point on the S&P cash. No real follow-through from the pullback yesterday. But again, real bounce off of it. When we look to the associated markets, and look at the dollar, they've been pretty much pushing it down fairly hard today, off 63 cents, 101.53. I think it got to 102.30. I thought it might get to 102.50 yesterday. Didn't quite get there. And we're right back to this treadmill of waiting for the Fed to raise. I think a lot of people just truly do not believe her because the dollar continues to push down. And I think they're going to have a very wide-eyed awakening come when they announce their Fed rate hike and the language coming out this month. So we'll look forward to that. But in the meantime, not much happening out here. Kind of quiet on the Western Front, looking for a little bit of buying before the end of the day. But again, that's normally you get into this third day of the month. It's about as good as it gets for outside cash coming in. And, of course, a lot of people throwing their cash snap in the last day. This seems to me like the market's it can't promise downside, but it seems like any upside would certainly be limited. As always, we like to start off the show with a little bit of history each day.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
It is history, and on this day in 1820, after months of bitter debate, we've never had that here in the United States, Congress passes the Missouri Compromise bill that temporarily resolves the first serious political clash between slavery and anti-slavery interests in the United States. Congress passed a bill granting Missouri statehood as a slave state under the condition that slavery was to be forever prohibited in the rest of Louisiana Purchase north of the 36th parallel, which runs approximately along the southern border of Missouri. In addition, Maine, formerly part of Massachusetts, was admitted as a free state, thus preserving the balance between northern and southern senators. And of course, kind of held everything together for another 30, almost 40 years before it all blew up in everybody's faces. And again, probably just kicking the can down the road this day in 1820. Not any different than the ones out there today. Of course, SNAP came out yesterday morning and priced up fairly strongly, and kind of a good sign of euphoria in the markets, which is always makes me very worried about being bullish, I mean. But next week, you don't have any voting rights if you buy SNAP, but they allowed them to go on and push out that IPO, even though the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission did not approve this in the IPO. So they can come along next week. It's either going to be Tuesday or Thursday next week. And they could come back and say, well, try again. We're not going to allow you to have no voting rights for all the people that buy stocks. And a lot of people are thinking, they're starting to scratch their heads a little bit behind what's going on. But again, the question is going to be with the new regulatory board on deck. They've already voted to, of course, review this. And probably if they weren't thinking about doing something, they probably weren't going to review it. So it looks like there's probably going to be some modification. And if it does, that means that probably any of the unicorn companies getting ready to go public that think that they shouldn't have any corporate governance, you can buy the shares, but up yours, we're running the show. May be a thing of the past. This also may mean that others also would see this change come along, as Facebook and Google and some of the other ones have done this in the past. So anyway, probably know whether or not anything actually happens next week. What else do we have? 101.57, nice little spike down in the dollar here. Quick 20 cents as we go into the weekend. Let's get out here. So let's take a look at here. We're flat on the S&Ps. Volume, not all that exciting, 2.16 billion shares. So we'll just move on and get it to some of the charts when we come back on the opposite side of this break.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And yes, our Janet Yellen theme song. She's done yakking. During the break there, she was finally done talking. And I can't really say there's a lot of cause and effect, but the market pulled back just a little. But not a lot going on. You can call me at 877-927-6648. You can, of course, post a message in the den and or email me at path@tfnn.com. Off 2 points in the S&P cash. Again, no volume up, no volume down here really in the last hour to speak of. And we're just now clipping 2.2 billion shares on the New York Consolidated Tape. On the percent advancers for the day, Bit Auto Holdings had a big day out here. Volume not even what it was yesterday, but a big candle as this goes back up toward the January 11th high at 2277, 2220. The high of the day. CALA. In fact, most of these bouncers out here are little short covering rallies in the biotechs for some reason. Haven't been able to hunt it down yet. Cathera Biosciences up a little bit, just no volume. Again, ESPR, Aspirion Therapeutics, another one just kind of up into this gap. Let's take a little longer look at this gap. That goes back for a while. This goes back to September 29th of 2015. Came down on 10 million shares. We're back up into it. Now there's a double gap out here too, and this thing just kissed it today. Again, not the kind of volume you're going to need to break through that most likely. EVC, which is Intravision Communications, nice pop back up with some volume. and filling a great deal of this gap from the 17th of January that came down on 1.7 million shares. 1.9 right now, gave a lot of that back, but you're going to have a lot of people willing, just desperate to get their cash back. So you get one of these big gap aways. It's not uncommon to see a lot of selling into any movement like that. The Habit restaurants. I have absolutely no idea about this. The Habit? No. How about for the halibut? Anyway. Nice pop on this one, gave a little bit of it back, but certainly a sign of strength in the HABT. Got a little gap that's probably very meaningful back here on the 10th of January, but nice pop in this one. Deserves a closer look. Nothing in that one. SRPT, as I said, a lot of these little short covering rallies with almost no volume in the biotechs today. Another one up today on 2.7 million shares. Yesterday we had 7.4 million. So to give you an idea that this is a very light volume Friday as we come into the close of the week. Sun Opta, nice little reversal signal on this with some volume and holding most of its pop out here today. But there's a thing called cloud cover. We saw a lot of it yesterday. This is just the opposite, man. It's covering up the last couple of really bad down days with some big volume. STKL, the symbol on that one. SUPN, which is Cerniferous Pharmaceuticals, another one of these things. Fairly decent volume yesterday, but breaking through the highs today, 665,000 shares so far. But, you had 1.3 million shares yesterday. Again, a lot of these just kind of popping with nothing out there. Tenet Healthcare, a little bit more volume than the last few days, but this thing is now going back into its gap down to the 28th of February, a day that will always live in my heart. Back up a little bit more to this double gap right here at 21. I would be ringing the register if I bought this thing lower. TTPH. What can we do with this one? Not much in that. Let's go to the decliners real quick and take a look at it. ACIW. A little bit of pullback on this one from the move yesterday. You had all the volume, you had all the strength. $20.50 is where you'd be looking if you wanted to get that one. AAI, which is Arlington Investment Corporation. A little clip down here today, certainly breaking through this ledge at about 1470 that this thing's had for about 2 months. And energy and volume kind of picking up. ANF came out before the bell this morning, I think, if this one was it. And kind of a little bit of a reversal signal on this one. I guess it came out yesterday, now that I remember it, before the bell yesterday. Now, kind of giving a big reversal out here, and the raspberry to all those people that got squeezed out of their short positions yesterday. BBG, which is Bill Barrett Corporation. I think this is the auction house for cars. I'm not sure about that, but I think that's what this is. Just double check. My memory is not what it used to be. No, independent energy company explores for and develops oil and natural gas resources in the United States. Glad I checked. Okay, Bill Barrett down to the previous low. It looks like $4.61. 2.5 million shares is the November 3rd low. Gap down with volume today. It looks like that test of that low is going to get tested rather quickly out here. BKE, which is the Buckle, another retail teen mall store, which these things, you probably want either leprosy or Ebola more than a mall store that sells to teenage kids and clothes for those teenage kids. Down, not a lot of volume so far, but certainly just looks like this thing is broken, still is not anywhere close to making any kind of long-term bottom. Costco came out and dropped the Baby Ruth in the punch bowl and was down pretty heavy last night after the bell. No surprises, no rejection of lower price today. It's down. It's down with volume, and I don't think anybody's going to ride to the rescue out here at 170. You got a big gap at about 163. My guess is that's going to be the first level of support over the next week. CVA has a nice big gap down. Volume isn't what you might think it would be. Certainly wiped out a lot of the trading back to mid-December on this one. And, you got this big gap down here. It's never been filled. About $13.70 on a light volume. McDermott International, MDR, down. I was thinking maybe this one would make a kind of bullish signal. You gapped up with 5.9 million shares on the 30th of November. You're probably going to get that today. So you're going to come right back in and fill this gap. With probably the same or more volume here in the next day or so. We'll be back on the opposite side. We'll look at Twilio and some others.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we look at Twilio TWL back into its gap up that happened on the 1st of February. Did so on 3.7 million shares. You're quickly back into it with 3.8 million shares already. and still have a little bit more to go out here. You had kind of a nice little rally in this thing back to this gap. Gap didn't really have that much volume, so kind of coming back into it today. Not that big a signal. I would suspect this is in a bigger trading range, back down to the 25.98 of January 3rd. So again, not a lot going on out here. We'll look at some other stocks. Scans. Take a quick look. Wanted to see how some of these were testing gaps. IOBAD, what is it? Biomed, ABMD, really kind of stuck on this gap down from the 26th of October, 2.8 million shares. Again, the volume has just been pitiful last few days as it goes into that high volume down days. 417,000 shares, 319,000 shares, 120,000 shares today. So again, as I said, not a lot of volume in the broad markets, but man, very light volume in a lot of these stocks. AG, which is First Majestic Silver, was much lower, down 780 today, a little bit of a reversal. Decent volume, about what it's been doing the last 5-7 days. But again, probably more about how the dollar's doing. It's down to 101.50 now, so we'll keep an eye on that. But kind of interesting to see that she says that we'll raise rates and the dollar sells off. Maybe it is to the point where no one believes her anymore at all. ALNY, Alarma Pharmaceuticals, ALNY, back up to its gap. Again, not a lot of volume in a lot of these pharmaceuticals today, either testing gaps or previous highs. This one is back into this gigantic down day of the 6th of October that had 16.7 million shares. But, just not much going on out there. CLH, Clean Harbors, no deal there. What do we have? Look at a few more of these. Some of these energy companies, I was kind of keeping an eye on them. Wanted to see them do a little bit better today. Maybe there'll be something out there on Monday. I thought a lot of these had to look like they were pulling back into lighter volume. Wanted to see how these things did. Some of them don't look too bad. EPE, but crude not really giving us a good signal out here. We talked about Glacier Bancorp yesterday on these light volumes, and not a lot more happening out here, just no volume and the sideways action on the follow-up. When we talk about Kansas City Southern, this one's back up into its gap with very light volume. Got a little doji out here today with this 600,000 shares so far. So keep an eye on those trains come Monday. But my guess is those things look rather weak right now. Neophotonics, let's see if there's else. Pass, Pan American Silver, did come back and catch this gap. And without a lot of volume, it was a pretty standard day. Back on the 5th of January, popped up with 2 million shares. You spiked it today with 2.2 million shares already. So at least you're back into that gap with about the same volume, maybe more. We'll see how that. It came into it yesterday with 3 million shares. So that it went a little farther is no big sign out here. But again, I would look, at least so far on these, energy on the downside has been pretty good. And you've got some lows out here that haven't been tested that look like they're going to be headed that way. The 1405 December 20th low looks open out here on PKAS. What else do we have? Panera. Huge day on earnings for Panera. It's done nothing but go sideways. Certainly looks to me like this thing wants to pull back to about 217. That'd fill about half the gap. Not a lot of volume out here today, but if you could get 217 on this on light volume, that may be a nice potential buy for an ABC up. What else do we have? UMB Financial. We were saying a lot of these financials up here with very light volume. You got The downside yesterday, again, not a lot of volume. Today, just a doji. So again, I think we're going to know a lot more come Monday on how some of these things trade. But UMB Financial had the December 12th high of 81.11 was 6.36 million shares. He only got into it on March 1st with 500,000 shares. So what is that, 1/5? No, it's not even 1/5. It's 1/20th of the volume up there at that high. So kind of interesting. Maybe no one truly believes the Fed, maybe. Or maybe it's all baked in already. Well, ideas out there. Let's see what else we have in my list of stuff. See, just without much movement out here today. Very interesting. A lot of sideways action. See if I can find something out here. This is interesting. Wolverine Worldwide, WWW, just like everything on the internet, came back into a bigger gap. Let's go back a little farther on this one. This big gap goes back down from what? The 17th of September 2015, same gap down with about 4 million shares. Coming back and finally filling that gap over last day. But yesterday, just under 1 million shares. And today, down on light volume so far. So a lot of these coming up. Like I said, market just seems incredibly tired. XHB, the home builders index, is back down to back up to this gap that kind of has been acting as resistance back from the September 18th of 2015. You had about 4.6 million shares. Tried to get up into that on August 23rd with a little over 3 million shares. But the last couple of days, you had 2.2 million shares. Yesterday, 1.5 million shares. Today, 400,000 shares. Again, a lot of these things just kind of whiffing up at the highs. What else do we have out here? Zena Hotels and Resorts. This one's having a bad hair day. I don't see a lot in it other than the bigger trading range. Back down to the September 27th low at 1475. The XLE, a little higher today than I would thought. Thought maybe it might open up in the mid part of this gap from a few days ago and then turn back around, especially with the dollar pulling back today, that we're not really seeing a lot of juice in this one. Probably the decent side of this is very light volume today, about 7 million shares in this, but maybe 71, 75 on light volume would be interesting to see a turnaround in energy. We'll be back after this short time out. We'll look at the XLP, the consumer staples sector. And, of course, you can always email me at path@tfnn.com. Call me at 877-927-6648 or put a message in the den.
TFNN has just launched a special event in Tampa with Tom O'Brien taking place March 18th, sponsored by Nadex. Tom O'Brien will be presenting 2 workshops for a combined 2.5 hours of education, bisecting and dissecting his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System. March 18th kicks off with a continental breakfast as we get everyone checked in, and that is followed by 2 75-minute workshops with Tom O'Brien. The first workshop from 8:45 until 10 a.m. will cover quality volume, cause and effect, and ABC structures, and the second workshop from 10:15 until 11:30 a.m. will cover swing points, testing, and the Tiger Gartley. Tom will then wrap things up with a question and answer session, which will be followed by a Tiger Luncheon Social on the rooftop of the Westin Hotel. The best part is that it's all free, but you must register to attend. Visit the front page of TFNN.com for all the details and to sign up today, and we hope to see you in Tampa on March 18th.
If you're looking to unearth a new financial financial resource and diversify your financial portfolio, consider the new market-safe core commodity CD from Everbank. This 5-year U.S. dollar-denominated CD gives you exposure to 4 equally weighted commodities: gold, copper, WTI oil, and sugar, in one powerful CD. With no pricing caps, you can potentially earn an unlimited upside payment at maturity if the commodities increase in value across semi-annual pricing dates. And should the opposite occur, your principal is 100% protected. Keep in mind, returns are based on CD performance. There's no annual percentage yield or periodic rate of interest on this index CD. Don't miss out. With certain commodities on the rebound, now is the time to take advantage. The March 23rd funding deadline will be here before you know it. So call 1-855-750-4051 or visit everbank.com/TFNN for the CD's term sheet and other important product details and disclosures. Once more, that's 1-855-750-4051 or visit everbank.com/TFNN. This advertisement is sponsored content. Everbank is a member FDIC.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now, you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Consumer staples EFT did recently test the previous high, July 14th, that had 20 million shares. Did so on 16.7 million shares on the 1st of this month, and kind of started to pull back out here. But again, just like everything, either going higher or going lower. Not a lot of volume, not a lot of a good signal out here. A little bit of, I'm going to say, indecision in the market. 23.81, we're off 1 point in the S&P cash. Again, volume has not come in either to the upside or the downside since Janet Yellen started speaking 1 East today. So just a very light and variable market out here, as people are probably going to digest over the weekend what's going on. I had some questions about what was going on in the Amazon, AMZN. Again, this thing broke a previous high, did so with just about the same amount of energy. The energy off the November 14th low, though, was not all that exciting compared to the energy up in previous legs or the energy down off the October 6th high. So probably just about as good as you can get. I don't see anything that says pull the ripcord here and go short. My guess is if this thing goes and it's going to go down on a headline, and no one knows when that headline's going to hit. At least nobody here. Maybe a lot of congressmen that get the wink, wink, nod, nod before it happens. But other than that, I can't imagine that we get any kind of notice that the DOJ is going after them for some kind of antitrust violation, of which they are the poster child for. But, you know, good company. Few emails about what's going on in their Blue Origin, Bezos Blue Origin. But again, that has nothing to do with Amazon itself. But a lot of interesting, and I guess because Musk talked about sending everybody to the moon again. You know, probably a good thing to do is to test out your product and see whether it works before you send it to Mars. But I don't know if there's a lot out here. Again, same volume, same high. Is there a reason to pull the trigger short on this one? No. Would I be long? No. I just don't see a lot in these. Maybe they go sideways for a while. Apple, what we do know is this last big run was highly powered from the after earnings to now by the retail investor. He is back, and he is throwing huge amounts of money at Apple. Just about $8.5 billion was the number I saw that has come in since the first of the year. And amazingly enough, all of it, or most of it, has been thrown at a single stock. And that always makes me worry when you see everybody throwing their money at a single company. And I don't know what else you can say about that other than the retail trader and his ability to buy at highs has always been a good signal of a high. Now, you did kind of hit that yesterday without a lot of volume. In fact, you had your last good sign of strength back here on the 1st. Samsung will have its new phone out before the end of the month. I covered it in the Tech Insider today. They will not have a product that it now sounds like until September or October for a new iPhone. So going to be kind of interesting to see what Samsung's phone was. They had a front leak shot of it today. Looks like going to show at the end of this month and be available the first week of April right now. I'm just kind of curious why everybody's loading into Apple now. I think a lot of people are thinking, well, their next iPhone's going to come out. It's going to sell a lot. But, you got to say that really the last day with volume was this 1st of February out here. And I'm always scared when the weakest hands among us, i.e. the retail trader, is getting in at a high. Always enough to put the hairs on the back of my head back up. But what else can you say about that? Microsoft MSFT on this one, and just going sideways, still nothing out or on this one. Let's take a quick look at Facebook. Up a little higher again. Now this one, you broke the previous high of 133.50, which is the October 25th high. Had about 28 million shares. You broke it with the same volume on the 22nd of February. And then as you go through all this, it's been lighter volume as you've gone sideways. Again today, 8 million shares. So why we've gone up to these levels, there's a handful, we talked about them, of stocks that have broken out with higher volume, but they're pretty much the unknown stocks. We're not seeing a lot of these big cap stocks out here breaking these highs, showing a sign of strength, doing all the things that would basically set people for another run. KSU, which is Kansas City Southern, I've been kind of watching. I think, well, maybe the railroads are going to show us something out here. This came back, filled its gap down, and that gap happened on the 9th of November. Did so with 13.3 million shares. Got into it 2 days ago with 1.6 million shares. Yesterday, 1 million shares. Today, kind of pulling back a little out of that gap with just 652,000 shares. So again, a lot of stocks, a lot of very light volume. And today, the volume, 2.4 million shares right now. I mean, this is very, very light volume for a flat day out here. What do we open at? 2382. We might have a nice, big, fat, low volume doji up here at the highs by the end of the day. That would be an interesting one to look at and speculate going forward in some of these. What else do we want to look at out here? See, you've got an email to go back in it. We'll look at some others. I got an email here. Somebody wanted me to look at PANW. Of course, it had horrible earnings. Still not a lot out in this one or this sector. We'll look at the rest of them too. Down with heavy volume. Again, I never really saw the brilliance of this stock compared to the other ones. I actually like the business that the other ones are in. But down on heavy volume, I don't know what else you could say. It looks like 111 on the low for that is going to be your first opportunity to find a bottom. CYBR, of course, almost no reaction to CYBR. A little bit yesterday, but again, even the volume didn't pick up. I think they've got earnings coming up. Let's take a look at this earnings date going forward. May 3rd, it's a little farther out than I thought. We come back, we'll look at FireEye and see if there's anything else out in here. But and not a lot to hang your hat on today. Looks like Monday will probably be a big signal. We'll be back in a minute.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're going to look at FireEye here in that security sector. You gap down on earnings in this one, too. Came down with 24.7 million shares. Blew through the previous low. Coming back down now after the bounce on that earnings call. Filled about half the gap. Now you're pulling back down to 91 today. But not a lot of volume. Again, doesn't matter what's out there, high or low. Just a very quiet day. Maybe the calm after the storm from Wednesday and yesterday. But just not much to say out here. Certainly, if you were short, I'd be out of this thing. It's always perpetually highly shorted. So, maybe you get down 1060 with light volume, especially for an intraday move out here. You may have a very sharp one. Keep an eye on. What else is out here? Someone wanted me to look at Oracle. Oh, see, RL, isn't it? Or is that a Claro? That's not that one. Oracle. Oh, RCL, right? When I learned to type, my brain's not actually hooked to my fingers the way I thought it should be. I'm going to complain to the manufacturer. Oracle did come back up to this gap. I hadn't looked at this in a few days. This gap down occurred on, June 18th of 2015. Came down with 80 million shares, been working its way back up. Did clip this, with 14 million shares on the 27th and kind of came off of it. I don't really understand, Oracle's big company. I guess maybe there's a dividend out here. Never has had a big trading range for a while, too many shares. But at the same point, I just don't understand. It's not like I could short the thing. And it's not like they've got some kind of big new product that's going to go gangbusters with all the billions and billions of shares that they have outstanding. So just one of these tighter range. But, of course, it's got a big effect on the indexes. So that's always a little bit of going on. Let's take a look at some of the other ones. Autodesk was down a lot harder after the bell last night, ADSK. And, again, it just looks to me like this thing's pulling back a little bit. Now, if you do some trend lines on the upside, you're starting to break a handful of these on the way back up. On my 3x3 displaced moving average, it is a solid close below it. Again, you might get another little attempt to push higher, and this would kind of look fairly decent to me. You had decent volume on the way down yesterday as this thing reversed. Today, volume's okay. We'll see how this thing closes out the day. But certainly looks like it could get back down to about the $80 level, which is the candle of the 7th of December last year at 7.7 million shares. So, is the wheel going to fall off? It's not. But that $80 level kind of looks like what could be support in this as Autodesk pulls back. Can't remember what the news was last night, but it wasn't very good. Let's see what else do we have out here. Oh, we're out of time. I didn't even get to Wingstop. I want to get to that today. We'll get to it tomorrow. Monday. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. And we'll be here. Same bat channel, same bat time, Monday.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.